Afternoon, Rockbridge. I'm Jake Alden. This is Ask Jake, and I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving and a happy Thanksgiving break. Our first question for the day comes from the back of an info Bruin, and it says, "Where's the worst place you've been stung by a bee?" All right, now, I know the story behind why someone would ask me this question. The person may have heard of the time when I was at a cross-country meet, and I believed I was stung by a bee in my nether regions. See, what had happened was I got stung by a bee on my shoulder, and then I walked into the bathroom and started experiencing intense groin pain and thought I'd been stung again. But see, that wasn't it. What it was is that I'd actually just been stung by a bee for the first time, and therefore I didn't know until then that I'm actually anaphylactic. And so I didn't know when you get stung by a bee and you're anaphylactic, you go into an anaphylactic shock, and your groin experiences pain, and you swell all over and break out in hives, and then you start to die. And then they have to take you to a hospital. So, the worst place I've been stung by a bee is any time I've ever gotten stung by a bee. Anywhere I get stung is kind of equally bad. Where do babies come from? Asks Clay Feynman. Alright, well, it may not have actually been Clay. It's like whenever before you're born, your parents go to the store, normally, a nice department store like Lowe's or somewhere, and they get the do-it-yourself kit, and they build a baby. Clay, I think your parents got you from Kmart as a blue light special, It's a whole lot cheaper and almost as good. Jake, here's the situation. I have been watching a movie called Harry Potter. I said it was okay to my friend Humira, and she has become very angry. I worry for my family. How should I handle the situation? Best way to handle this situation, I've dealt with rabid Harry Potter fans before. I myself enjoyed the writings of J.K. Rowling, but I wouldn't necessarily call myself a diehard fan. I wasn't a huge fan of the movies. I really like the books, though. But what I would do to appease them, I'm kind of in a tough situation right now, because I would go out, I would buy them the new J.K. Rowling book that's just been released as a gift of appeasement, and then give it to them, and then wait for them to become distracted by the kind of skewy plot, and make sure they don't know that the reviewers really hated the new book. But just throw it to them, they'll get distracted by the plot, and it'll get you off and back. Jake, lightsaber versus wand. Who would win in a duel, and why? Also Gandalf versus Dumbledore, and Darth Vader versus Voldemort. Who would win? Okay, first question, lightsaber versus wand. I think it depends, who is holding the lightsaber and who is holding the wand, but based on the projectile nature of wands, and given I don't think magic would be deflected by a lightsaber, so I'm going to go ahead and say that the wand has the upper hand if we're assuming both relatively equal people behind the lightsaber and the wand. Now, going off of that, Voldemort would obviously lose in a fight to Darth Vader, because Darth Vader has the Force on his side. We don't know how magic works on machinery, and Darth Vader is a cyborg. And finally, Gandalf versus Dumbledore is hardly ever a question, because if you read the Silmarillion, of course, the textbook on all Lord of the Rings, that I would highly recommend, you should know that Gandalf isn't just a wizard like Dumbledore. Gandalf is actually a living star that was created by God and sent to Earth to destroy the evil death god that was living on Earth. So clearly, Gandalf has the upper hand in the fight. Jake, what is the proper way to kiss a girl? Well, there are lots of ways. First and foremost, glasses off, look into the eyes, and then before you go in, brush back the hair, and always have a flower in your sleeve. So as you brush it back, you can pop the flower out like a magic trick, and then put it behind your ear as you brush your hair back. That is what I would recommend. My dear lovely Jake, What are the attributes you search for when looking for a woman? Zozo, anonymous, with two N's, so anonymous. What are the attributes you search for when looking for a woman? Intelligent, attractive, a good fashion sense. I know I said that this can be sometimes overlooked by men in the earlier, but good taste in like shoes, maybe. Nice shoes, and good ability. I don't want to discriminate against. There are some lovely women out there who aren't good sandwich makers, so we could always throw that off the table, but they should smell like summer. I don't even know what that means. But, Jake, will you go out with me? Well, I would have to note the fact that this has no signature, so I can't identify my secret admirer. I just want to let them know that I don't recognize this handwriting either. So I'm not entirely sure if I know this person. If you're a stranger who's watching this and you're asking me out, I'd just like to let you know, first and foremost, that I'm flattered. And second of all, if we were in a dating environment, you should know from my past experiences with women and just general social capabilities, sense of balance, hand-eye coordination, you would be putting yourself into a dangerous situation mentally and physically, and I'm not entirely sure your family would improve. I really want to be an opera singer. Please give me some advice. All right, first of all, watch Les Mis, because Les Mis is beautiful. And I'm actually really looking forward to the movie. And I don't want to cry right now, but if you've seen the second trailer, it's made. The cinematography and the singing alone, and Russell Crowe is singing. I have a man crush on Russell Crowe. But, anyhow, so I would watch that. And I would watch Phantom of the Opera, and I would just, whenever you're in the shower, get some buddy butter on to open up the pores. Open up the pores. I'm sure that helps with singing. You get some nice scented candles burning to open everything up, and just sing a little Sarah Bareilles. Sarah Bareilles will teach you how to sing. What is the greatest film of all time? All right, now this is actually a very serious question. I love movies, and so I want to be straight with you. I want to tell you what the best film of all time is, and it's an elusive answer. I don't want to go too pompous. I don't want to sound too much like a film hipster. So I don't want to try to describe to you why good films are good, but let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The best film of all time is probably, most likely, not James Cameron's Avatar. What it actually is Dandy Cats. You saying what? I've never heard of Dandy Cats before. Go to YouTube, look up Dandy Cats, and DANDYCATS. I think it should come up. Like the little thumbnail will be a guy wearing a cardboard box suit. We might be able to link it to this video. Dear Jake, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Well, I would like to answer that with a clever fellow tongue twister, but can't think of any on the spot, and if I could, I would just mess it up and end up saying a lot of profanity on film. So, keep it real, enjoy Thanksgiving, don't eat too much turkey, and don't drink too much sparkling grape juice because it'll make you gassy.